but what I'm getting at is the idea that this is a country that tiptoes around, never really saying what it thinks about the state of the country or the scale of immigration. I just don't see that. I see quite the opposite, Linda. I see a country right now that engages in a debate, which is often very heated and fractious and emotive, about immigration, probably more than any other issue.
You can always tell when somebody has spent way too much time online, because they start repeating conspiracy theories like they're undeniable facts. And that's exactly what happened in this LBC call. Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. This caller came armed with a bunch of wild claims about immigration, policing, and Muslims in the UK, clearly expecting nobody to challenge her on it. The problem? Ben Kentish wasn't about to let misinformation slide unchecked. And once he started asking simple follow-up questions, the entire argument began falling apart almost instantly. Let's watch this together.
It's only the second time I've called into LBC as well. I called in during COVID once. But it's obviously I'm English. I'm in Chelsea, but I'm in a council property, which I only got about 10 years ago because I was very ill.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'd been working 50 years, because I'm nearly 70 now, but 40 years probably was in all. And, I was paying the taxes about 33% in the 70s because we went to the IMF when Labour were in. We've had all the strikes and we've still, I've been paying my tax all that time. Also, as an English person, we also pay tax. Yeah. My sister pays tax. She's running a business.
Sure, lots of people who are born here, lots of people who are first, second, third generation migrants pay tax too. So,
of course, yes. Yes.
So you think Keir Starmer's right, Linda?
Well, I don't understand why they're getting upset with Keir Starmer. Either way, whether you're left or right, what has he said? But this is another thing, that because of the Equality Act, it seems like we have to submit to every single offence that an immigrant might take, that we might say or not, so we don't say anything.
Right. So this is why you think people in this country don't express views on the level of migration?
We tried. The ordinary everyday.
We talk about it probably more than anything else. And there is also all sorts of rhetoric from people in very prominent positions in public life, which I would say, let me put this diplomatically, lacks any nuance, sensitivity or sensibility, very often indeed.
Well, obviously, I haven't sort of been listening to your show, so I don't know whether, you're very, very...
No, but what I'm getting at is the idea that this is a country that tiptoes around, never really saying what it thinks about the state of the country or the scale of immigration. I just don't see that. I see quite the opposite, Linda. I see a country right now that engages in a debate, which is often very heated and fractious and emotive, about immigration, probably more than any other issue.
All right. Can I just say, though, that you're speaking about the people like yourself, those on the TV and the radio, and you've got a voice.
I'm not.
I'm
not. I'm not saying I'm not.
No, I'm not being.
But I'm going also what I see on social media, Linda, which is an awful lot of people saying very strongly worded things indeed about immigration and, sadly, in many cases, immigrants. I just don't buy the idea that nobody is speaking their mind on this issue.
If you go on, I went on the social media to register on X, and I immediately had somebody hack into it, so I had to come out of that. But anyway, if we go from, let's talk about the fact that London is only 30% English now, and I hear up north that the police can only have to negotiate with the community leaders of the Muslim community up there in order to deal what they have to deal with. That they can't go to these places.
Both of those things are just, I'm afraid they're nonsense. No, yes, political leaders.
Why do you say that?
Because political leaders talk to community leaders. You're kind of making out that mayors of parts of the country are somehow seeking permission from imams before they do anything.
Well, that's how it comes across.
Where? Comes across where and to whom?
Well, this is what I mean. I hear so much. I don't write every little thing down who it is, but it came
where are you getting this stuff from? Where are you getting the idea that mayors of England or mayors of parts of England are running all their policies past Muslim leaders?
Not mayors. I didn't say mayors. I said that the police are talking. Yes, maybe they have to negotiate.
Do you really think that the Muslim community leaders, imams presumably, have a veto over the actions of police forces in England?
This is what it sounds like, yes. And I don't know.
But where does it sound like? It doesn't sound like it to me, Linda. It sounds like a completely far-fetched, absurd conspiracy theory to me, respectfully. So where is it that you've seen that makes you think that is going on?
Well, I'll have to find out where but I've heard it several times.
But where?
And it's come,
because I've heard several times that the Earth is flat. Right, okay. So because it's on YouTube, it must be true.
I think it came from a source. I'll have to make a note of these things because obviously I didn't expect to call in.
Right.
But the thing is, you must have heard about these different things, and obviously we've got the other thing. Just going on to another subject.
Then I don't want to do another subject. I'm really sorry. I can't. Because you're talking to me about things that are just not true. There might be someone on YouTube who says that, yes, police in Britain are having everything cleared by Muslim community leaders. It doesn't mean it's happening. In the same way as London is not a third white. Majority of London's population is still white. So, we've got to be really careful about where we're getting our news from and what we're accepting as fact and reality, when actually, in many cases, it's neither of those.
So, what we just witnessed was the perfect example of how misinformation completely falls apart the moment someone asks for actual evidence. The caller came in confidently repeating claims that she'd clearly picked up online, but the second Ben Kentish asked the obvious question, "Where are you getting this from?" everything started collapsing. And that's the scary part. These conspiracy theories spread because people hear something repeatedly and mistake repetition for truth. No sources, no evidence. Just vibes, fear, and social media echo chambers. What Ben did here was actually really important. He didn't scream, panic, or insult the caller. He calmly forced her to explain the logic behind what she was saying, and once she couldn't do that, the entire narrative unraveled in real time. That's why conversations like this matter, because misinformation only survives when nobody challenges it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button for more political commentary and debates. Thanks for watching.